Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today I'm making an easy Deco Mesh Dollar Tree floral wreath using the bubble method and an 8-inch wreath. Let's get started. For this bubble wreath, I'm going to be using the 8-inch little wreath form. I had a lot of people ask me to do something with these little ones because a lot of us have bought them and they're just laying around. So you know what? Let's do something fun. Let's do something easy. And so these come in a pack of 2. And all you're going to need is 2 to 3 rolls of Deco Mesh, depending on how big you want it. I like using 3. We only have 3 sections in this wreath form, and we're going to be using this middle row. You can go about it 2 ways. You can put the pipe cleaners on right away, or you can just make your bubbles and then put your pipe cleaners on and attach. Pipe cleaners attach, pipe cleaners attach. I believe it's easier to put the pipe cleaners on and just kind of make your bubbles and keep on going. Especially, I'm going to give you the measurements. You're not going to worry about running out of Deco Mesh before you're done. So we're just going to do that. Our Dollar Tree Deco Mesh is 6 inches in width, 5 yards in length. 5 yards is 180 inches. I divided that by the 8-inch loops that we're going to do, and that gives us about 7.5. So what we're going to have is 7 bubbles per section, and our bubbles are going to be 8 inches long. Today I'm going to be using my Dollar Tree little mat. I absolutely love it. I use it when I need to measure anything that goes up to 9 inches because you have 8 inches right here. The half inches will give you a full inch on the sides here, so it's 9 inches from side to side. Let's do the pipe cleaners first, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these in half. And just like this, I'm putting a pipe cleaner on, giving it 2 twists. I'm done putting all my pipe cleaners on, and by the way, this 8-inch wreath form does have only 3 rows, so we're going to be using this middle row right here, and that is where I put my pipe cleaners on. In each section, I have 7 pipe cleaners, and of course, you know that if you have 7 pipe cleaners, you're going to have 6 bubbles. Our 7th bubble is going to be the one that's in between our sections. That's going to be our 7th bubble, to make sure our measurements are correct. So make sure you only put 7 pipe cleaners, not 8, because your 7th bubble is going to go from one section to the next, and then you're going to go ahead, make your 6 bubbles here, and your 7th bubble in this section is going to go to the next, and until we are done with this wreath. The first thing I'm going to do is unroll my Deco Mesh. I have the buffalo check one. Then I'm going to use my white one, and as you can see, my white one on top is really bad and it's kind of loose on the sides. This is when I use the bubble method, when I have Deco Mesh that's kind of bad. And so this method is actually not bad to use for this. I layered it buffalo check, then the white, then the buffalo check on top, and I'm going to give it about 2 inches, collect the Deco Mesh. I'm going to go in the first section, and before I actually attach it to my pipe cleaner, I'm going to put it in between row 1 and 2, kind of tuck that in, grab my pipe cleaner, give it a very good twist, nice and tight, and then I'm going to grab a zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie that end, nice and tight. Just cut that off. Now I'm just going to start making my bubbles. There's my 8-inch. Give it 2 twists. I wanted to show you real quick how my Deco Mesh is unrolling. It's in a big basket, so I have my bottom, middle, and then the top right here, and I just have it to the side. Measuring my next 8 inches and attaching it to the next pipe cleaner. I just wanted to mention that make sure that your Deco Mesh is lined up nicely just like this, because you want to make sure that we don't have any fraying if we can help it. And I just want to make sure that I do that also because when we're about to take our bubbles apart and to fluff this out, to make sure that it's nicely laid out for us. Look at this. It's going to be so pretty. I am on my last bubble here, which means I already used up all my pipe cleaners, and at this point I usually go to this first pipe cleaner to kind of complete this, But because this wreath form is so tiny, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between rows 1 and 2 and just attach that last bubble to the first row on the inside. Let me measure off the last 8 inches. And this is how much I have left. On the white one, I have a lot. And then this one, this is basically what's left on this one. Here we go. Make sure my bubble is bubbled up. And then I'm going to squeeze between rows 1 and 2. And let's go to the back. Grabbing my zip tie. So here is where we started, and this was my last bubble right here. At this point, you can either just hide in the back. If there's anything loose like that, definitely cut that off. Make sure your tail is nice and smooth here so it doesn't look raggedy. Our wreath base is all done. All our bubbles are on. So this is pretty much a ready wreath to either decorate, or we have one more step if you wish. I guess it all depends on the Deco mesh that you used, but I'm going to separate these. So what I do is I grab whatever the inside row is, so that is why I keep it nice and clean. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down with my hand. Just push that down kind of and work it out. Then I'm going to take the next layer, going to push it down. There you go. And what I want to do is I want to have the buffalo check layer on the inside and the outside and have a nice white little layer in the middle as I go along. So that is what I'm going to do. But as I said, I get to the center, I find my innermost Deco mesh layer, and I push it down, and then out. And I'm working towards the inside because I want that bottom layer to be on the inside, the middle layer to be in the middle, and then the outside to be on the outside. You can also play with them and just mix them around for sure. But the most important thing is when you're separating the layers to start with the innermost and work your way out. As I'm going along, I do want to make sure that I get rid of all the extra pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to cut it off at about 1 inch from the connection, twist it up, and then here I'm going to fold it in half and fold it back. That's it. And I'm going to do that to all the pipe cleaners. My wreath is all ready, and I just grabbed a little tape measure to see how big it got. And this one measures at about 14 inches, so maybe 14 to 15 depending on how big your bubbles will be. But that's not bad. That's a pretty nice size wreath. To decorate our wreath, here is my idea. I want to use this gorgeous pick from JoAnn fabrics. I got it on sale. It was originally $3.99, and my idea is to have the greenery on top like this, then the flower. And so of course I'm going to bend it a little bit, and then what I'm going to have is a beautiful bow right here. But of course, I need to show you some Dollar Tree options because not everyone might find a pretty pick that they like. So from the Dollar Tree, grab some greenery, any greenery. This is some foliage. For your flower, you can use one of these. This is a peony clip from the Dollar Tree. And these come in different colors. I have some white ones, but there's also some kind of peachy pink like this one, some lilac ones, some gorgeous bluish green ones. Or you can use a flower like this. That would look beautiful too, but I wanted something darker, so that's why I'm using that one. To attach it, we are going to keep it simple. I'm just going to take the tag out. You can use a floral wire or a pipe cleaner like I'll be using, and all I'm going to do is just twist it on top. And I like to secure it so it doesn't jump around on top. So I'm going to go underneath the flower. Then I'm going to go in between the stems a little bit. And now I have 2 points where I'm going to have it attached so it's not going to wiggle. So one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower. I feel like the stem of the greenery might show, so I'm going to bend it back a little bit. Now that we got our greenery and our gorgeous flower attached, let's work on the bow. As you can see, my supervisor came to inspect my wreath before we make our bow. Say hello to everyone. And here's the ribbon I'm going to use. All the ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. First, I have this Offray ribbon. It has a black and pink in it. The black is going to be a great way to balance out the wreath itself, and of course the pink with the flower. Then I'm going to use some green. The green is going to bring out this green right here. Then I'm going to use some of this mesh ribbon. I absolutely am in love with this. And then of course a pink one to balance things out and to kind of complete the look at the end. I'm not really going to be measuring this. I'm just going to eye everything just like that. There you go. That is going to look so pretty. But in case you're wondering, my loops are about 3 inches. Instead of a bow maker, I'm just going to use a clip today. Next, I'm going to do the white. Oh, I love this stuff. Just the prettiest thing ever. Measuring, making sure that I like it where it's at. Let's clip this together. Next, I'm going to be using 2 satin ribbons, the green and the pink, and they're both 5/8 inch in width. Let's start with the green. When doing these satin ribbons, just make sure that the shiny part is on top when you're attaching it. Now, very carefully, I'm just going to squeeze all of this together using a pipe cleaner to bring it all together. We're gonna give it 2 good twists in the back. Now that our bow is put together, it's time to take care of the center. I decided to grab a grosgrain ribbon. This is a white grosgrain ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little knot and just pull it taut, just like that. And then I'm going to make another loop or another knot. And this one I'm not going to pull tight. I want this to be kind of bulky at the top, and I'm going to put it right in the center. So let me cut off the other end, and I'm just going to put it on top, put my finger on there so it holds in place right in the center. And then we're going to start hot gluing. Dab of hot glue. Going to get rid of this long tail because we don't need it. More hot glue. When that is cooled, I'm going to cut off the tail. And it's nice when you have a longer tail to work with because you can pull and hold the actual ribbon in place so you don't burn yourself. Now I'm just going to cut the tails. Instead of a dovetail, I'm just going to cut the tails diagonally. And now I'm just grabbing my pipe cleaners and I'm going to attach the bow to the back of my wreath. I have my intersection right here, the little bar, and I love using those bars because that is what's going to keep my bow exactly where I want it. And this wreath is ready to go.